Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Welcome back to another recap. We're going to go over DraftKings Week 10 and everything that happened, including that amazing finish to the Arizona game where DeAndre Hopkins impossibly came down with a ball in between three different Bills, and that was the defining factor. That was the thing that turned teams that were in 200th place into bink winners on that slate. We had two massive winners ourselves, so congratulations to them for taking down not just the number one spy, but the second spy as well. So a 100K winner in the Smizz gang, a 25K winner in the Smizz gang. I had a pretty good week. I hope that you had a good week too. I know that there was a lot of things that missed this week. No tight ends, with the exception of like 2 or 3, even had like a respectable day. Some of the chalk kind of busted, but you didn't need to have hits in every spot because scoring was so low. Cash game line was like 119 and above to be in the money. Tournaments had a lower winning score than we've seen any week this year. This was an extremely low scoring week. So if you correlated around specific quarterback, wide receiver stacks, had the right secondary stack, you were not only in the money, but you had yourself a chance at the top. I personally had the Millionaire Maker somewhat surrounded, but didn't quite get all the way there. I had a really fun sweat. Just didn't work out on my way this weekend on both sides, on DraftKings and on FanDuel. We're going to go over all of it, as well as my ESPN article, Best Buys, which comes out every single Thursday. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell. And if you want to join the Discord, on the main channel, there is a join button. You can become a YouTube channel member. Jump in the Discord. There's a link down below, as always, just like all my other socials in the description. Jump in Discord, link your YouTube account to Discord. And if you're subbed to the main channel, your name will turn red. You'll get access to all the subscriber channels. You can start having somebody to talk about DFS with pretty much all day. We've got over 4,000 members in our Discord channel right now. So let's just go see how I did on Best Buys this week. Here it is right there. Every single week on Thursday comes out on ESPN.com. Behind the ESPN Plus paywall. It's the only thing that I do that's paywalled right now. That's not my choice. That's ESPN's choice. It's been that way since 2015 when I started writing this article. Number one guy, Aaron Rodgers, 29.4 points. Apparently win does not matter to A-Rod. 24 of 34, 325, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, with 1 long one to MVS and 1 that went to Adams as well. So if you played that stack and stayed on it without getting off because of the wind, kudos to you. I came off of both Rodgers and Watson by the time Sunday morning got here because the wind just took me off those games. Lower expectation, much more variance, right? Wind can certainly lower what a quarterback and his pass catchers are able to do on a certain week. It just brings more variance into the equation. So the way I dealt with it was just moving completely off of those players. We talked about that on the Anti-Tinker Cast. I told you guys, I rang the fire, I rang the alarm, and I was out. I'm off of everybody that's involved in the passing game in those games. So Deshaun Watson, I was off of him. The wind did affect him. 20 of 30, 163, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 14.12 points. That kind of sucked. Jared Goff, I hate Sean McVay. I don't hate Sean McVay. Hate's a strong word. I'm sure he's a nice guy. Probably very charitable, upstanding member of society. I don't trust Sean McVay. Would be a better way as a fantasy sports individual who is trying to predict the future with any sort of accuracy above the norm. Sean McVay makes that entirely impossible. Jared Goff had a good day. 27 of 37 for 302 yards against Seattle's defense. Josh Reynolds had a very good day. Kupp had like 7 or 8 targets. He wasn't terrible, but nobody scored touchdowns because he just decided Malcolm Brown needs to score 2 on the ground, and Henderson was always a threat to score. He was a good leverage play off of the passing game there, but only ended the day with 14.48 because absolutely no touchdowns. Touchdowns are what fuel a quarterback scoring. That is the only way to get there. He didn't get them. Carson Wentz, here's a miss. I'll take an L here. 21 of 37 for 208, no touchdowns. Doesn't matter who gets healthy. This offense is bad. Carson Wentz looks bad, and he should feel bad too because he is not performing this year. Tua Tagovailoa, 15 of 25. We projected him to throw about 25 or 30 times this game. He was on the low end of that. Only 169 yards, did throw for 2 touchdowns. Not to the guys that we wanted. Devontae Parker did come down out of bounds on his. That was disappointing as I was higher than the field on him. One of them went to Jakeem Grant, who I was also higher than the field on him, so that worked out. 14.66 points for 5.6K. Didn't kill you, but not thrilling either, not winning you any GPPs with that stack. Aaron Jones, 14.5 points. 13 for 46 on the ground, 5 catches on 6 targets, 49 yards, no touchdowns. That was disappointing. Jay Cutter Life, thank you very much for the 39 months. Chat, I blame you. That's your fault, chat. James Robinson, 16.2 points. Did get all the volume that we thought. 23 carries, right? He was our number one bring back against Green Bay this week, especially with the wind, right? I wasn't going to affect my ground game guys, but 16.2 points, it's not amazing, but it didn't kill you, especially on a week like this. 23 for 109, 2 catches on 5 targets. That's a little disappointing. 3 yards receiving and no touchdowns. Mike Davis was disappointing, but for only 4K, this is what we were talking about in the lead up to this week. Mike Davis was not the guy who killed you, especially not in cash games where he was like 85 to 90% played. 12 points was the value threshold for him at this price point. He had 7 carries for 32 yards. It was going to be tough sledding on the ground against Tampa Bay. That was always going to be the case. He did get injured in the middle of this game, which held down his total snaps played. Caught 4 balls on 5 targets for only 12 yards. That was, to me, what was most strange here. Clearly did not have a touchdown. 8.4 points, but again, that's 3.5 points off of value. He was an easy plug and play this week, and he allowed you to get to some of the other players that you needed to get. Miles Sanders, 13.5 points. Disappointing that Boston Scott got a touchdown on a play where he clearly was not in bounds, and Corey Clement came in for an inside the 5 carry. I'm very happy for them and their family. I'm not tilted at all about that. 15 of 85, 2 catches on 5 targets for 10 yards, 13.5 points for Miles Sanders. DeAndre Swift, here's a smash. 16 of 81, no touchdowns, 5 catches on 5 targets, 68 yards and a touchdown. I posted on Twitter yesterday, how in the world can you be at every single practice and watch every single game and break down film on these Detroit Lions and still say, you know what? We got to get 28 and 33 involved in this offense, a whole lot more. And not just, you know what? We got to keep running 32 out there for 20 touches. We got to find ways to get touches into number 32's hands because this kid can make things happen. He is a weapon, and they're muting him. Hopefully he stays at this 20 touch threshold, which is where he's been. And clearly, targets for a running back are worth 2.7 carries in terms of expected fantasy points. So 1 target is worth 2.7 carries. So if he stays in that 15 carry, 5 target range, I'm more than happy with DeAndre Swift at the price that he is at until it catches up. And DraftKings has been very slow to move pricing so far this year. Keenan Allen didn't get there for us at all. 7 targets, his lowest target share in any game that he's been healthy, with Herbert as the quarterback. Only caught 3 of them for 39 yards, but did sneak himself into the end zone and bailed us out just a little bit. Got there with 12.9 points. Otherwise, it would have been an absolutely horrible weekend for us. So we kind of got bailed out in the final 2 minutes of that game as he snuck into the end zone. Cooper Kupp, 7 targets, caught 5 of them, 50 yards, no touchdowns, 10 points. Meh. Chase Claypool, he was an absolute smash. Once again, as I said, look at me. I'm the captain now. Every single week, this guy finds his way into the end zone. He is Ben's preferred target once they get in close. I know that Juju has a lot of red zone and end zone targets as well, but Chase Claypool has just been an absolute monster. 10 targets in this game, only caught 4 of them. This was why I kind of ran away from the wind, right? Like this is what we talked about. He could get a lot of targets, but Ben was going to be less efficient on deep throws, and that was one major part of Chase Claypool's game, is that big splash ability. Only caught 4 of the 10 throws headed his way, 56 yards, got you 2 touchdowns, which kind of bailed you out. If you take those 2 touchdowns away, he only has like 9.6 fantasy points. So touchdowns very integrated into his game. But that volume, those double-digit targets every week is really what we're looking for on a week-in, week-out basis. Devontae Adams is somebody who gets double-digit targets every week. 12 more for him this week. 8 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown. 20.6 points, which is nice. It's not thrilling. when you pay $9K for a player, but 20 points was very valuable in week 10 because of how low the scoring was. Terry McLaurin got close just about everywhere. 7 catches on 9 targets every week. He is contributing for you in PPR. 95 yards, did not get the bonus. No touchdowns, didn't get us at 6 points. Still at 18 fantasy points. Not a smash, but fine for the price. Josh Reynolds, close to a smash, but not quite there, but I'll take it for 3.5K. With 10 targets, 8 of them turned into catches. 94 yards, didn't get us the bonus. Obviously, the Rams didn't throw for any touchdowns. So 17.4 for Josh Reynolds, more than enough. Every tight end missed. Give me an L if you want, but like every tight end on the whole slate missed. I think 3 had double-digit points on the day, maybe 4. I think Logan Thomas, Hunter Henry, who else? Gronk, and Jordan Reed were the 4 that had double-digit points this week. It was not a runaway week for tight ends. You can get away with it. It's just about having the right combination at the other places. Darren Waller, 3 of 5 for 37 yards, 6.7 points. Austin Hooper, as I said, I rang the alarm. I got off of all the win guys in passing games, 2.1 points, 1 catch, 2 targets, 11 yards, which is going to hold his price down moving forward. And I think there's some good matchups for him that we're going to be interested in as long as his price stays at that point and there's not as much wind in those games. Evan Engram, 2 catches, 3 targets, 15 yards, 3.5 points. I'll take an L there. Eric Ebron, 2 catches, 6 targets, 38 yards, no touchdowns, 5.8 points there. Steelers D, New Orleans Saints had Steelers D was it's all right. Saints D, 14 points. Cardinals D had a couple turnovers, but was not lighting the world on fire. Taking a quick look at my 3 lineups that I built by hand, which were right here. As you can see, highly correlated with quarterback, double stack, bring back, or quarterback, single stack, bring back in all 3 of them. Only 1 of them cashed. So let's go over to this queue where I had all 3 of them in. Show only mine. I came in 6th in this queue. Kyler Murray, 30.9. Had him with Kirk, brought him back with Diggs. Ingram was in this lineup. It was just it was an absolute blizzard all day, no matter what you did on DraftKings. My Millionaire Maker lineups, as I said, I kind of had it surrounded. This is a weird run, like to kind of look at these lineups and say, okay, I got 4 in the top 500. I had a bunch that cashed 5,400 in winnings on the Millionaire Maker for 3,000 in entry fees. So I had a pretty good day on DraftKings, as you can see in tournaments. And my highest scoring lineup that came in 167th out of how many runners were there? 207,000. I vastly outpaced top 1% lineups with mine. I didn't look at the exact number that I had, but like it's high. It's very high for top 1% and top 5% lineups. Murray to Hopkins, brought it back with Beasley, Grant, secondary stack with Henry, Jones, Davis, Kamara, correlated with the Saints defense. You're going to see a lot of that in these ones that were up near the top, because the way that the wind went, it forced me off of the win quarterbacks and got me more allocation on the high totaled games that weren't going to have to deal with any sort of wind. Looking at the cage match where I played against Mike Wright from the Fantasy Footballers, I took down this one. I am now 6-4 on the season, and I have reestablished dominance inside the cage. Kids are eating again this week. Love to see it. This lineup would have cashed it. Look at the snowflakes. Snowflakes everywhere. This lineup, 130, would have cashed in double ups. The cash line was 119 this week. Super duper low. It just kind of is what it is. I don't think we need to go over a cage match lineup, but people want to see the result. So there it is. Here are my lineups on FanDuel, 150. Like I said, kind of had it surrounded until the end. I was in first for most of the afternoon until our top 3, bouncing back and forth until really, really late when the Arizona game kind of went off the charts. So as you can see, it was all like Josh Allen lineups, had a lot of DeAndre Swift, had some Josh Jacobs in there. Keenan Allen was disappointing. Every tight end was disappointing. But a solid day on FanDuel and a solid day on DraftKings for me. Hope that you guys had a pretty good day. I know that we had some big winners in our community. I hope that you were one of them. If you were not, get yourself into Discord. Surround yourself with people that are like-minded, that are trying to improve every single day of the week. The only way to get better is to completely immerse yourself in a game like this and surround yourself with people who are like-minded. That's what our Discord community is. And during football season, there's always going to be somebody for you to talk to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So get yourselves into Discord. Get yourselves into those sub-only channels. That's where the best conversation happens. Look out for another video right here.
He's a legend.